go on to framingbuddy.com and get yourself one. Support an entrepreneur, support an inventor who brought a new idea to market, help them grow, because you know what? Everybody has an amazing idea in them. Our job is to make it easier to get those out there. And, again, one of my first goals was I'm tired of hearing, because my father was an entrepreneur. I was tired of hearing of all the things that he could have done and should have done. And then, I don't want ideas going to anybody's graves. I want ideas to get out there and leave legacies for families.
We help people with ideas get them to revenue.
All right. Welcome to an episode of our podcast at 52 Launch. I love these where I get to interact with an inventor that we have taken through the entrepreneurial process and helping them start a business. Today, I have Dan Laukaitis. I got it right?
You got it right.
All right. I'm horrible with names, so just keep that in mind. But no, Dan, I just, I always like to start off by saying, look, we greatly appreciate that you chose us to get this idea off the ground. I always really want to kind of emphasize on the thought that everything that needs to get done is easy and it just gets done. I think we can speak to that. That's not always the case. There's a lot more work that needs to be done. But welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And how did you start with this idea? Was there an origin story here?
There definitely is. I was building a room in my basement.
Yeah.
All by myself. And I said, how come they don't have a tool to help me line up these 2x4s, 16 inches on center? I says, because I cannot toenail. I'm not a toenailer. I'm not a carpenter.
Right.
And then once I started thinking about it, I actually built the room first and then come up with the tool. The tool came later, a year or so later.
After.
Yeah. The tool came later, which.
Yeah, that's good. And so when you did that, and thought about it, I guess at that point, what was your next step? How did you know that it was something that not just that you needed, but other people need?
Good question.
Or it was like a light bulb moment that hey, I really wish I would have had this?
That's more like it. Yeah, it was definitely a light bulb moment.
Well, I think that's the inventor's journey, right? And I think from the inventor's standpoint, you found something that was a need. Your next step was what? Did you go to the patent office? Did you find us? Help me understand what your next steps when you realized that you had something.
Once I built the prototype out of some sheet metal, I says, I got something here. So then I actually went to a patent attorney and he said, this is a great idea, but you're going to need to write up a description and so they can't get around the patent.
Right. Yep.
So I went and grabbed my engineer brother-in-law, my mechanical engineer brother-in-law, and my other brother, and we had three of us sat at the table, and we just were staring at this thing, and we couldn't describe it. We just couldn't describe it. So then I just threw it in the drawer and let the dust collect on it.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching Shark Tank one night, and who comes on? You and Dan.
Okay.
I was fascinated by your commercial. And the next morning I woke up and I says, I'm going to email these guys because I'm getting ready to retire. This would be a cool project if we could get this off the ground and get it moving. And these look like the right guys to do it. And you guys immediately responded. You guys, I think it was within 24 hours, you sent me back the email and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is great. I didn't expect for you to respond that quick.
Well, we see a lot of bad ideas. We don't respond that quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we see something that we liked or that we thought was a good idea, of course, that's the easy part.
And then you scheduled a video call with me, and I had a little prototype on my kitchen table, and you're like, why don't you come down and visit the shop, 52 Launch, and let's chat. And then after I did that, I felt real comfortable with you guys, and I'm like,
well, I'm glad to hear that.
This is it. This is going to happen.
Well, I'm going to drill down a little bit on that because I have a lot of clients that clearly aren't in the vicinity and don't get the opportunity to come down. When you came down, what gave you that comfortable feeling, or what did you see in our office? Help explain when you walk in here what we look like and what we do, and
just the atmosphere, the professionalism. It was great. They make you feel, you guys make everybody feel welcome. I saw all the products hanging on the wall that you've helped launch. That was impressive.
Cool.
That was impressive.
I think a lot of people ask us or they, look at, we do sound too good to be true, I think sometimes, because it is an all-in-one shop. But when I think people ask me all the time, like, are you using AI or what are you doing? Like, how many people do you think you've worked with on our team through this process? Like, how many different people?
Well, at least a dozen.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. So it's not AI.
you're right. It's definitely not AI.
It's real people.
Right.
And so when you handed off what you handed off to us, obviously you talked about metal, and just to get the audience caught up a little bit. So Framing Buddy is basically designed to hold in your 2x4s in the right area so that you can frame a wall quickly at the bottom, and that you just get to the next one and the next one, and the next one, and your wall is built without having to measure and be precisely lining up. This is your alignment tool.
Right.
So you had talked about you'd made one out of sheet metal, yet I'm holding one here that seems like extremely durable plastic.
Right.
So whose idea was that? Was that something that you guys engineered? Is that something that the team helped us get through?
Yeah, I think it was Mike. Mike was actually designed it for us.
Okay.
Did the 3D print up.
Yeah.
And then we made some changes after that. The handle was low, but that was because my sample, the handle was low. So I said, we need to bring that handle up so we can put a glove in there if the guy's working in the cold weather. And, we put the little logo on here that says Framing Buddy,
Nice.
little raised letters. That
Yeah.
was good. Reinforced the corners, that took all the burrs. I mean,
Yeah, I can feel that there's no sharp edges. It's all rounded.
it came out mint. Yeah.
And so I know there was, I think, just to help entrepreneurs and inventors understand, they all seem to think that you can get it right on the first time. And what you just said there was something that your design was lower, so we matched it.
Right.
At what point did we decide that that wasn't the right thing?
I would say like a month later, I'm looking at it saying, we need to change it. We need to change it.
Okay.
You know?
And did we change it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's an important conversation, because I think that's really the conversations that do happen behind the scenes, is that, you think you've got it all right until you kind of get to use it and play with it and understand that, oh my gosh, there's a couple things that we can make better. So I didn't even know that this was lower. So because again, I'm seeing this, I saw this at the beginning and I'm seeing this at the end.
Right.
And so I appreciate seeing that at the end of it, it feels like this functions extremely well and is well thought out. It's very comfortable in my hand, very light, very easy to use and move around.
The color scheme is perfect.
It's definitely bright, and I think it fits on a construction site, right? Because look, I've worked in construction. The hardest thing is when you look down, you can't see your tool. There's no chance that happens here. It's also no chance I'm leaving it behind because I framed the wall,
Right.
and I left it on the last stud, and it's still there.
Right.
So talk to me just about the name, the Framing Buddy. Where did like all this culminated? Like how? It's a great name.
I mean, I did some brainstorming, but basically I come up with Framing Buddy, but I'm like, what else could you call it?
Yeah.
What else could you call it?
Yeah.
It kind of made sense.
And so you've got the trademark in process or in play?
Trademark is in process. It's patent pending, both here in the U.S. and overseas.
Nice.
So that's all in the works. And we have inventory.
Well, that's the holy mackerel moment, right? At the end, what is it that you really need? You need to have inventory so you can go out and sell it, right? So talk to me about the packaging in the box. Like you guys, I mean, this is simple. We could this, does this need to be in a box? And I think you guys were pretty adamant that you wanted it in a box. So now that I see the box, I'm in 100% agreement with you. This is a great looking product. Yeah, great looking box.
I think Luke designed the box.
Yep.
Yeah, did a good job.
And all the content and creative and so it opens really nicely. Yeah, this is a great.
Easy for shipping.
Easy for storage, easy for shipping, easy to be on a shelf, easy to be at Home Depot, easy to be at Lowe's, easy to be at any lumber yard that's out there, because I think this is something that, to me, we were just talking about it, 84 lumber. Do you think that, I think anybody that's framing, especially if you've got a new crew or trainees on the crew, this is the starting point. I think it makes an entire crew faster. I can imagine one objection. I'm pretty sure that there's some framers out there laughing at us right now.
There's the naysayers.
Well, look at anybody that's been framing and can line up and knows where 16 on 16 is without even blinking an eye, without a measuring tape. This is not for them, right?
Right.
Like those guys are extreme professionals. This is really for someone who wants to go faster and not have to worry about measuring. I think this is perfect for DIYers that want to do a weekend project just like you did, right?
Right.
How big was the room that you did in your house?
Probably 10 by 10. It's not a very big room.
10 by 10.
Yeah.
So this would have been absolutely useful,
Oh, yeah.
just from a confidence level, right?
Right.
So,
There's no windows in the room, so it would go real fast.
and so, yeah, that's where, again, we're not saying this is for the ultra professional framer, but I think this is going to be something that every framer, if you want to take the thought process out of it, could use pretty quickly or adapt to pretty quickly. But definitely DIY, definitely people that are new to the training. Someone, I'm not going to point out a generational group of people, but where fractions and measurements are no longer taught as well as they used to be.
Right.
This is a great tool for that kind of stuff. So
Right.
I think if you're looking at who you should be to buy that, again, so what was the purpose of your wall? What were you hiding? Safe room?
Yeah. Was actually
Cash room?
actually going to be an extra bedroom. We had too many people in our house.
Okay. All right. So whatever the need is,
All right.
man cave, work shed, she shed, like you could use it to build a shed outside.
Now my snow blower's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. Website's live. Look at, for anybody watching this that's learning from, and again, I want to be clear on this. This is an inventor needs to become an entrepreneur because what you're starting is a business. How much of that do you think we were part of to help you ask the right questions, get there? And I will be the first to say, I don't think we're perfect at that yet, because this isn't always my business. I know I can advise, but I have to be also careful, because I can advise what I know, but is it the real legal advice? I know how to make it. I know how to sell it. So help me fill in the gaps. Who else did you bring onto the team to help you make the decisions? You had us,
Right.
and who else did you think that you brought on?
Well, my brother-in-law helped originally do a CAD drawing way back.
Okay.
It was actually, I hate to say this, but it was in 2011 when I first come up with the prototype. So I'm the president of the Procrastinators Club.
Well,
But you kickstarted me.
procrastination is really a matter of not knowing. Look, it's two things. I don't know where to start, or I don't have the time to do it. Procrastination is not a disease that people think.
Right.
Maybe there's a lazy procrastinator out there as well that watches, that binge watches TV instead of taking action. But I will tell you, I would never recommend anybody do this alone. Look, you just asked me my origin story.
Right.
Right. And so I'll share it. I've had it on other videos, but the origin story for Dan and I was, I know what can sell in the market. I've been in consumer retail for over 30 years. I get what the consumer wants. That's really, if they want it, then it's less of a sales product.
Right.
But I could never manufacture anything.
Right.
And someone, I was already in phone calls from people asking me to help sell. Actually, I said I was going to bring out the bag. If you don't have it, that's okay. But you're
right outside the door.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But your aluminum one that you showed me, or your tin one before,
Right.
that's what they were showing me. They were showing me prototypes. I couldn't go and sell a prototype. It wasn't scalable. So I know the transition from inventor to entrepreneur.
Right.
And that's really what we, and again, you can affirm whether you agree or not. I like to believe that we helped an inventor become an entrepreneur and start a business.
Definitely.
And that's the parts that I didn't have. I'm not the manufacturer in this group, although now after 10 years, I know more about manufacturing than I should.
Right.
But that's the gaps that if you don't know, you procrastinate and you miss out, and then nothing happens. And I'm glad it's no longer collecting dust. I'm glad it's sitting on my desk. I am so proud of this moment for you and for everybody that was involved. And, again, this just speaks volume. You sent me a beautiful text the other day. If you care to repeat it, that's great. But that's what triggered me saying, we got to get you on a podcast, because this is where I am so proud that you're happy, and I'm so proud that this is the product that we're launching.
For anybody out there, these are the guys. Hire them. If you got an idea, I highly recommend them. I really do.
Well, look, people are going to think you're a paid spokesperson now, so I'm gonna validate that a little bit. Where could we have gotten better? What do you think we could have done differently? Because I think I'm an open book. I want things better and faster. So tell me what I could have done better.
There was a few things on the box, misspelling on the box.
Okay, that's embarrassing, but yeah, I'll take that one.
We caught that one, and we got that fixed. I don't know. Maybe shipping from China. It took a while to get here, but
yeah,
we can't get around that. You can't get around that. And then I think in the middle of all this, COVID was hitting.
We did have some COVID.
I think we had some COVID issues.
Yeah, I think you guys came to us just at that part where, look, I'm going to tell you, anybody that thinks that COVID's over, there's still ramifications out there, and the in the supply chain and stuff like that. But again, we got through it. Like
Right.
you know, for a lot of times you would have thought that would have been detrimental to us, but we actually managed our way through it. We were very fortunate that we have that network of manufacturing. Shipping, I'm in 1,000% agreement. There is a way that we can get it here quicker, and like we could have air shipped a bunch of these, but that is the one thing that the cost has not come down since COVID.
Right.
We used to be able to air ship, you know, for a few $100, and like we get some units here. Now it's not. There's no. It's crazy. The other thing is the actual time that takes. So there's a slow boat and there's a fast boat. There's a huge difference in price on those two. So we're, you know, again, we're a margin company. I'd rather be patient,
Right.
especially when we're doing the first launch, than to be spend money and get there. I've done it both ways, and it's always better to be conservative, save your pennies, spend the extra 15 or 20 days. It gets here. Now that we're ready to launch, that's the most important thing. I know we're all anxious. Look, I'm the first one. I keep asking my team, when's it done? When's it done? When's it done?
Right.
I think we had one scenario with you guys that, you know, there was some, I think it was in terms of like, there was a concern about, is it going to fit? Oh, no, I know what it exactly was. We learned about wet wood and dry wood, and the difference between what they call live and
kiln dried and pressure treated. Yeah.
Yeah, but then also, you know, when I asked our experts over at a couple of lumber places, they couldn't give me a straight answer. Like, well, if it's wet, and they gave me a range, and I'm like, okay, good. Let's get this figured out now. And I think we had it right the first time.
Yeah.
I think we did second guess ourselves a little bit. I think we put the safe bet in place, but it works.
It works.
And that's what's more important, because the last thing you want is a consumer to use it and it doesn't work, or it's got that extra variable that we didn't consider that it's not for everybody. So
Right.
look at
This fits both. I brought it down to the local lumber yard, and it fits nice.
so now speak to that so everybody understands. So that's what we ended up figuring out.
Yep.
It fits both, whether it's kiln
Pressure treated or
treated.
kiln dried.
Okay.
Because they say if you're going to add a room in your basement, you really want kiln dried. Pressure treated on the floor. You want pressure treated on the floor. Then you can use the kiln dried for all your uprights.
Okay.
And I didn't do that when I built the room. I didn't know.
So there's a bias.
You know, there's moisture in everybody's cellar. You know.
Yeah, especially in New England.
Yeah.
So perfect. But yeah, was that a hard pivot?
No, not really. You guys retooled after we had the conversation. We retooled, and you know, I understand the cost behind that. That was fine.
Yeah. Again, thank God we caught it then, because I'd rather figure it out then. So, or again, however we brought it up. Again, our process, I try to make it as iterative as possible, so that we don't go into something that we have product that can't sell at the end.
It's patience. You got to have patience when you're developing this. If you don't, you might as well forget it.
Well, look, thank you for saying that, because that's something that every new entrepreneur, they want to get there quickly. We can go fast, right? The question is, should we be going fast?
Right.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. There's things I can't go faster on unless I spend money with like the fast boat shipping. It's available to you, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Right.
Not right now. It is coming down. Thank goodness we're not dealing with like COVID pricing on shipping that we did 3 years ago. That's changed dramatically. I'm going to ask you a question, because I think a lot of my new clients that are looking at hiring us, how much of this did you sign off on? Was there any point where we did not give you exactly what you were wanting? And at what point did we hopefully make this better than what you thought?
You know, we made a few changes. You know, that was more my doing the changes, and you guys accompanied me every time. And then you'd bring back another sample, and we'd look at it and check it for fit. And if I didn't like it, we'd send it back and have the mold.
Yeah, good.
Redone.
Maybe the better question: did you ever feel pressured that we should have just started, other than from me?
No.
The team, you got what you wanted out of the team. I was probably the one harping you, come on, let's go.
Right.
The decision, I don't think that's detrimental.
Right.
But did my voice count in that matter?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You wanted to get it done, and I wanted to get it done, but
And so
again,
in that situation, who was the CEO?
me.
There you go. I tell everybody, like, you guys are the CEOs of my team, right? I'll give you my opinion. I'm on your board of directors.
Right.
And I maybe would do things differently with every project, but I'm not the CEO of your company. And that's why, again, I'm happy to have the team to go through it the way that you needed it to be done.
And that worked out great.
Awesome. So what's the plan? I know you kind of threw out Ace Hardware. If you're listening, we'll try and put some hashtags in there. Like to get in front of somebody there. Any of the lumber places, National Lumber, that's a local place. 84 Lumber.
Yeah, I haven't contacted them yet, but
Yeah, I think those are good starts, and obviously, the big box stores. But listen, anybody doing a DIY project that is looking to build a frame, rooms in your basement, in your house, in your backyard, sheds work as well, go on to framingbuddy.com and get yourself one. Support an entrepreneur, support an inventor who brought a new idea to market, help them grow, because you know what? Everybody has an amazing idea in them. Our job is to make it easier to get those out there. And, again, one of my first goals was I'm tired of hearing, because my father was an entrepreneur. I was tired of hearing of all the things that he could have done and should have done. And then, I don't want ideas going to anybody's graves. I want ideas to get out there and leave legacies for families.
right. This will also handle floor joists.
Floor joists, okay.
Floor joists got to be 16 inches on center.
So is that for decking? Does that work for a deck outside?
For decking, yeah.
Okay.
Well, one note, though, I think on Trex decking, you're supposed to have 12-inch centers because it's kind of a little a different type of lumber.
Right, so, okay.
But if you're doing pressure treated, you could use a 16-inch center.
Okay. Well, then maybe the next product is a Trex deck.
I suppose you could use it for rafters, too, but
yeah.
I've never tried it.
Well, look at I couldn't be more proud of you guys. I know, I really know that you were not the business entrepreneur that when you started, you were a pure inventor. I am going to give you a little pimp my ride flex. You came in with a branded shirt. You know what's next. You are now the CEO and top salesperson in your company. That means you are an entrepreneur ready to go. And I'm here to support anything you need in that. My team is still here to support you in any of that. The first step for us is online. That is set up. So if you want to buy one of these people, please do. Go to framingbuddy.com, help out Dan and his family, and let's get this rocking and rolling.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Not really.
All right. Well, I know how nervous you are doing this. I appreciate it, because I've asked you about 4 times, and I finally got you in, and where I wasn't letting you go. So
no.
Cool, man. Look at everyone out there. If there's any questions you have for Dan specifically, I am going to add him to my list of references. You can, we'll figure out how to get you guys in contact to ask questions, be very specific. I will tell you before anybody, we are not a perfect company, but we work hard to make sure that no one fails.
Failure is not an option. He texted me the other day.
Awesome. Well, look at on that. Thank you guys so much for your confidence in us. And I'm so proud that you guys are at this point now. So, guys, stay tuned. There'll always be more of these. If you've got questions, if you've got things that you want answered, or that are, you've got questions about on being, moving over from an inventor to an entrepreneur, please get with us. I will be happy to answer those questions. My team would be as well. If you have an invention idea, please contact us. We would love to get the conversation going. All right. You guys have a fantastic day.